Good morning, students. Welcome to the English class today. As we are going to begin with the poetry section first, today we are going to talk about poetry, the meaning of poetry. Well, what is poetry? In a broader sense, literature is divided into two forms, that is prose and poetry. When we talk of poetry, the first impression we get is that it is written in verse form. That a poem is supposed to possess certain rhythmic qualities such as a rhyme scheme, meter, etc. The next impression it leaves on its readers is that it has the capacity of evoking the aesthetic sense in us. The aesthetic appeal of poetry comes from the fact that it is all about the experiences of heart rather than of brain. Here the point is to be noted that the poet might speculate about the form of the poem, but the content of it directly flows from the heart. That's how Wordsworth, a renowned romantic poet, defines it as the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. Poetry is spontaneous without any pre-speculations. That is why we say that in poetry the beauty, the purity, the depth and the visceral appeal is more important than its meaning. When the poet writes overpowered by the intensity of his feelings, he pours his heart out impulsively. And in that spur of the moment, he leaves so many things unsaid. These unsaid things which the poet leaves for the readers to draw their own meanings makes poetry a plurisignificant sight. But what do you mean by a plurisignificant sight is that poetry has multiple explanations. Its relativity is different to each and every reader. Though it has a general meaning in a broader sense, yet it frees the reader to draw their own meanings relating to their own imagination and their own experiences. Let's take an Indian example to make it a little clearer. A famous Hindi poet wrote a poem तो किसी रेल सी गुजरती है मैं किसी पुल सा थरथराता हूँ. Originally the poem was written about Indira Gandhi during the time of emergency. Later on it was sung in a Bollywood movie as a romantic song by a lover for his beloved. So today we have talked about poetry in a very broader sense. In the next classes we will talk about its forms and structure. So when we will be doing the poetry classes in the upcoming sessions, I hope each one of you will relate with it, will try to relate with it and will also try to experience it with their own imagination than just grasping it for its meaning. Thank you.